I want to talk to you about the very most important things to remember when using a choke chain. Now, I like the choke chain. I think it's a very good tool. It's a very fair tool to the dog, and it will protect your dog and it will protect you. It'll prevent the dog from running away or breaking free of you. Always make sure that you have a good quality choke chain, obviously, and make sure that it's working. So you can give it a couple tugs before you put it on every time, and you'll be assured that's in good shape. Most importantly, do not leave the choke chain on your dog when your dog is unattended. Your dog can strangulate, can hang themselves, and can get in a lot of trouble. Along with that, do not leave the choke chain on your dog when your dog is in the company of another dog, because dogs play and one dog's jaw can get caught under here and twist and strangulate one dog and hurt the other or kill the other one as well. Be very, very cognizant that you put the collar on where it makes a P. Use the other way, it makes a Q. I hope you can understand that this is a Q, this is a P. It goes on the front of the head of the dog just like that, right? And when it does that, it gives me the ability to, come here, Goofy, sit, to give the dog a correction when he's on my left side, because that's how we walk our dogs normally, on the left side, and it releases immediately. So as you can see here, dog gets a correction, collar releases immediately. If I have it on the wrong way, I lift up, give the dog the correction, and I release, and the collar stays stuck, and it can be harmful to the dog, and it can be very unclear in the correction that you're trying to give your dog. Another critical element is to make sure that the collar is the right size. I see so many people put these collars on their dogs, and a big mistake is they have them too big. And when the collar is too big, so many of these links will be hanging out that the collar is up to here, and this is where the leash starts, and that's not what you want. You want the collar to fit very nicely over your dog's head. I'm going to show you that here. It's going to fit very nicely over the dog's head, just like that, without too much force. And when it hangs, I have maybe 2 or 3 links coming out. That gives me just enough room to get it back over my dog's head and take it off. So when I put the collar over the dog's head, it goes this way, and I push it over his ears. Now, sometimes with a smaller collar, if it's a little snug, which is still okay for the dog, obviously you want to be able to get a few fingers into the collar to make sure it's not too tight on your dog. But if it's hard to get off, first work the bottom of the collar up to the jaw, and then slip the top of the collar over the ear. Now, this collar is a little bit smaller. This is Maya's collar. Goofy's collar is on him, and it goes by the same methodology. You put it on, you put it over his head, and here, Goofy, come here. Here, when you take it off, make sure the bottom is up high under the jaw and pull it off. Remember, never, never, never walk your dog on a choke collar when they are pulling and choking themselves. Now, I have plenty of videos on how to use the collar, and you can get all of those by going to my member section or my YouTube channel. But this video is about understanding the important elements of making the P when you put the collar onto your dog, that it goes this way, that's the P. Make sure it's the right size, not too big where there's a lot of links hanging outside of the dog's neck, and also not so tight that you can't get over the dog's neck, because you may have to use some bolt cutters to cut it off. Be sure to never leave it on your dog when your dog is either unattended or in the presence of another dog at a park, which I don't recommend playing at a park, but if you do take your dog to a park, do not leave your collar on when the dog is playing with it. And make sure you use a good quality collar that you constantly check every single time to make sure it's in good shape.